Okay, hey guys, welcome to my channel. I know it's been a minute since I've last done a video, but today I've got a treat for you, especially if you're a car washing enthusiast from your own home, okay? So here's the deal. Where I live, out here in Arizona, there are some places that, where your city water has a really high TDS value, okay? My city water ranges anywhere between 650 to I think to 750. Now we all know you can't wash a car with a 650 or 750, ppm or TDS value in it, right? You do that, you'll get hard water spots all day long. In fact, you could literally etch your car and your windows with that kind of TDS value. So after watching multiple YouTube videos, after doing some research, I came up with this contraption, right? And it's kind of a mobile contraption, but in any event, it works out really well. So let's just go ahead and get to it. So some of these items you see here, I already had on hand. I can give you a general idea on what they might cost, but I don't, it's not something I went out and purchased specifically just for this system. This is stuff I already had for a soft water system that I had in another home, okay? So let's start with the 3/4 inch hose that's connected to my outside spigot, all right? I've got a 3/4 inch quick disconnect that goes directly into a 3/4 inch pipe fitting, and then a 1 inch fitting here that goes directly into a pre-down filter. This pre-down filter, you don't need it, but its main purpose is to preserve the longevity of the two filters that are here, okay? If you have a much lower TDS in your water, then you can just go with these, or if you don't, you can still just go with these, okay? Now it goes from this pre-down filter into a 1 inch ball valve. This allows me to shut it off at this point in case I need to for whatever reason, and release the water, the pressure. Okay, you can kind of see it working a little bit in here. So this is basically all city water, guys. The city water hasn't even reached to this point yet until I open this valve. Once I open this valve, it goes into my first filter, which is a sediment filter. That's a filter you will need for this setup. Okay, they have smaller versions of these blues that you can buy that are less expensive, but this is, again, this is what I already had on hand. Then it goes from the sediment filter to the carbon block filter. All right. Once it goes to the carbon block filter, it goes to my booster pump. Now I will put links in my video for all of these items, well, for most of them. And if you decide you want to go ahead and do something like this, then you'll be able to go directly to the link. So it goes to the goes directly to the booster pump. It took me a while to find a good booster pump. This one got mixed reviews, but I thought I would just try it. It wasn't that expensive, and what I needed to go from my 65 psi pressured water from my outside spigot and bring that up to 100 or more. And this booster pump is what did it for me. It gets really hot, but it does the job. It hasn't broken down on me or anything, and so far I'm happy with it. Then, once it goes, once I have this booster pump running, and it's pushing my water at about 100, I usually have it set at 110 psi. It goes through an adjustable pressure gauge here. I'll give you a close-up of that in a minute. Once it goes to my adjustable pressure gauge, I actually set this, I make sure I set this at 110 psi. So these pumps come already, I think, at 120. You can adjust it up to 160. When it gets to here, I usually have it down to 110, and then I can tell that I have it at 110 by looking at this pressure gauge. Once it goes from here, it goes to it's connected to a 3/4 inch hose barb to a 3/4 inch 150 psi hose. All right, this is what it's connected to. Here's where the magic starts. Once I have it connected, all right, sorry guys, if I had my own someone to hold this camera for me, it would work. once it goes through here, okay, let me see if I'm doing this. It goes through here, it goes into a system called a membrane, which is right here, guys. Okay, this is a membrane, and so it goes from a 3/4 inch hose barb to a 3/4 inch hose barb. You'll have to have a you'll have to put a little lock fitting in there, and then this is a 1/2 inch plug. Then once it goes through this membrane, it comes out on this side, which is another 3/4 inch hose barb. Then as it comes out from this side, the water is filtered, and then it drops from this fitting into the tank. This is basically a tank fed system, guys. Okay, this is how I have it set up. Once I fill this tank with the lowest TDS that I can get, because this membrane is what's filtering out all of my high ppm down to as low as I can get it, then I can it exits from this system here. It's basically a bulkhead and a ball valve that I can shut off at this point, and then it goes from here into another filter. All right, then from this it goes to another 3/4 inch fitting, and then this is actually a 1/2 inch hose. It goes to this 1/2 inch hose here. Now let's back to this membrane a little bit. You guys, I'm going to tell you right now that when this water is dripping from this fitting, I'm getting on average about anywhere between 10 to 25 ppms. This is from 800 TDS, you guys. If you have a home that's putting out high TDS, a high TDS value, this membrane is what does the magic. It's like a reverse osmosis system that you are connecting to, that you are connecting to this water tank. Okay, you are basically creating an exact replica of a reverse osmosis system, except the water coming out of this membrane is bringing down your TDS value as low as it can. Now, I will go over here and show you when my water is running. It usually runs at, by the time it gets to the booster pump, when the booster pump is not running, it's only running at about 40 to 45 psi. But when the booster pump is running, it'll bring it up to, like I said, 110 psi. So you'll still have some water trickling from this little outside fitting that's going into your tank, but it'll be a trickle. But when this is running at a 110 psi, this is more of a slight pour. Okay, it only takes like a few hours to fill this tank. This is a 300 gallon tank, and once you fill this tank, you can wash as many, all the cars in your house as often as you want, until the water runs out, and then you can refill your tank all over again. It's absolutely fantastic, guys. It's fantastic. All right, just so you know, this booster pump has what's called a thermal shut-off system. So if it gets really hot, when it gets really hot, it will shut off and then turn back on. But once you get this set up, once you get everything set up the way that you want, all you have to do is set it and leave it. Let it do its job and drip into the tank, all right, or pour into the tank. Now you can see I have water in there now. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and test the water. Okay, so right now, if you can see that, it's really sunny out here. We're at 0 TDS. Okay, because I haven't put it in the tank yet. Now I'm going to dip it into the tank. We're going to see what water level we're at. Whoop. I wonder if I could hold it just a second. There we go. Look at that, guys. Freaking 21 TDS. 20, can you see that? 21 TDS. From 650 to 800 TDS. That's what this whole system did for me by the time it got to this tank. Now, you want to know how to bring it down to 0 TDS? I will show you. Once you get all this hooked up, you got your 1/2-inch hose here. This is what I got in here. You will need a one of these diaphragm pumps, and I also have this in the link below. This diaphragm pump over there, that's a booster pump. Okay, the one that's hooked up over there is a booster pump. This one over here is a diaphragm pump. It takes the water from my tank at about 3.2 gallons a minute. All right, you want kind of at least a 3.2 gallon a minute pump or higher before you connect it to what we have here, my on-the-go deionizer. Okay, this is amazing. Now, so basically we have our inlet go into our outlet, 1/2-inch outlet. Okay, so the inlet of the pump go into the outlet, and this pump will shut off when it senses there's no water going through it. So that's how it protects the pump. Then it goes into the outlet, into the inlet, which is a quick disconnect here. See? That's how I have it. And then it goes into my on-the-go on-the-go resin system, but you can tell it's on the go. I don't know if you can see that. All right. Then, and just so you know that this diaphragm pump is actually, you need a DC output, or it needs to be driven by a battery, 12-volt battery. But I have a Noco 10 Genius that I plug into here that I can turn into a DC output. All right, so it works out for me for now, and it powers the pump. Okay, so as soon as water gets to that pump, it senses it, and then it starts pushing the 3 gallons a minute into this deionizer. And then I have it connected to this Resmo system here, where it's sort of, I don't know, it seems so dark. Well, anyway, it gauges how much water I'm using per minute. It's a little dark here, guys. I don't know if you can see that or not. All right, well, anyway, let me turn this on here. Let's get some light in here. Maybe that'll work. Maybe a little bit. All right, then it goes from a standard water hose, garden hose, 3/4 inch, all the way to an electric pressure washing pump that I have over here by Green, it's called Greenway or Greenworks. See that? It's by Greenworks, guys. By the time it gets to this wand right here, I'm running at 0 TDS, and I'm preserving my resin that I have. I'm preserving the resin in my on-the-go tank. Now, you guys, just so you know, I am not being sponsored by any of these products whatsoever. I'm just sharing the excitement that I have for doing all of this. Okay, that's what's so cool about it, is that I don't have to go to a car wash anymore. I just washed 4 vehicles the other day. In my opinion, I saved about, I don't know, maybe $50 in car washing right there. Which, by the way, I can't even bring my truck to a car wash because it has these racks on it and it won't allow me to. So that's basically what I got, guys. Let me, you saw the water that was tested. Let me show you. Why is it so dark? All right, let me, I want to try and get, let's test the water coming out of here real quick. Okay, I'm going to test the city water so you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so remember I said this is the city water that's coming out right now? All right. So we're at 0. Shoot, I don't even know if you could see that because of the sun. Yeah, we're at 0 right now, right? I'm going to put this in here. Can you see that? I don't think you can. 606. 599, 606. That's crazy. By the time it gets into my water system here, I'm going to pull some of this water out. Okay, this is water from the tank. Okay, can you see that? I think that says 18. 18 ppms from the tank, kids. That's crazy. Like I said, it goes from my outside water spigot and then to my membrane, then directly into the tank, to another filter system, 1/2-inch hose, to my on-the-go resin tank that I'll also try and put a link in the description below. Actually, don't forget the diaphragm pump there. And then it goes from there again to my electric pressure washer. All right, let's talk cost. All right. Okay, cost. All right, so some of these filtration systems, like I said earlier, I already had. So I didn't have to go out and make a purchase on those. I think, like, if I would kind of average out what I paid for everything, including the electric pressure washer, which I got on a Black Friday sale for 25 bucks. It didn't even cost me that much. So I just grabbed it just to try it, because I already have another pressure washer. It's more of a commercial washer, but this is good because it puts out, I think, 1.7 gallons per minute, and that diaphragm puts water into the tank at about 3.2 gallons a minute. 1.7 gallons a minute in pressure is all you need. Is all you need for GPMs to wash your vehicle. As far as the PSI on it, I think it's running at 1700 PSI. But you know, being in the pressure washing business at one time, that just depends on the length of hose and all that other good stuff. But besides all that, if I had to guess how much I invested in everything here, I'm gonna say between the membrane, the filters, all the fittings, I would say maybe I already had the big blues, but maybe 500 bucks, maybe 500 bucks for everything, because I already had some of this stuff, so you'll probably have to spend a little more. But when I put some of these links in the video below, in the description, that should give you an idea on what everything kind of costs. Okay, now, let's move on to the next thing. When I was researching all of this, for me it was very frustrating, because trying to get the help that I needed to get this thing set up from certain people online, it's as if people don't want to share the information, right? They don't want to share it because, I don't know, for whatever reason. And I remember like reaching out to a professional car washing YouTuber who wanted to charge me like this setup, you know, this, what did he call it, this consultation fee and all this other stuff. When really, I mean, the stuff that I learned on my own here, it did cost me nothing, but I'm just going to put it out there, guys. I'm doing this because I want to help you, and I want to grow my channel. I want to grow it, and I want to just help people. I want to do different things on this channel like I've done in the past. And I love sharing information. I love giving it to you, because what that does for me is, one, well, for one thing, I don't stand anything to gain from this other than growing my channel. And two, my whole life has always been sharing information and knowledge and things that I learned. Believe me, my daughter will tell you that that's how I am. But when I was reaching out to some of these people, these famous car washing YouTubers and stuff like that, you know, like this one guy wanted to charge me $1,000, you know, and just to get some of the things that I needed, which in my setup, I mean, he was basically telling me that I had to change everything around. Well, I didn't. I mean, yes, maybe for a professional setup, but if you're a DIYer and you want something for your own home, then sometimes being your own advocate, going out and doing this research, and yes, I probably could set the system up a little better, but for now it works for, you know, the way that I want it. Then that's all I needed. You know, I didn't need to pay for this guy's consultation. I didn't need to pay for all of his parts or anything like that. If you're like a YouTuber and you're sharing information and you want people to go to your channel or share your channel or your videos, sometimes giving them inside information about what pump you're using or whatever it is that you're using to set up your system, it's going to look real good on you. You know, I see these guys doing these YouTube channels and or videos of these things that you want to learn about, but then they hide the label on the pump so you don't see what it is, or they hide the label on some other stuff so you don't see what it is. It's like, why, man? Why do that? Just give the information out. Look, it takes a hell of a lot more work to get a client than it does just to share information. So if you're worried about other people getting clients or them not buying from you, that's ridiculous. I owned a company for 15 years, a pressure washing company for 15 years. And I've had guys try to get into my business left and right. They would call me and say, you know, they would act like a customer and say, hey, I need a driveway pressure wash. Can you have one of you guys come out and do it? And what does it cost? And then I would tell them, this is my minimum charge to take a 2-ton truck out to a location. And then say, oh, okay, I'm going to look around. Now, my prices were very competitive, but they would say this. And you know, as an owner, like you can feel somebody over the phone, whether or not they're actually calling to get an estimate because they really want a job done, or they just want information so they can start a business of their own. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. So, I know I'm going on some rant about all this other stuff, but I'm going to do more videos like this, guys. If you like what you've seen and you like what I'm saying, the only thing I would ask is please subscribe. And if you want any of these parts, I'm going to have them, some of these items in the links below, so you can go to, so you don't have to do your research and you go directly to it, and so that you can set this system up yourself. There may be some things that I won't have in the link, but for the most part, it should work out. I think that's it, guys. I'm sorry I kind of dragged on this video. The next ones will be a little bit better, a little bit shorter. And thank you for watching.